everybody. It is Colin Jose from Talking Ball. Peep the new intro, everybody. I hope you like the new intro. That comes straight from Josh from Speaking Spurs and Talking Ball. But Jose, how are you doing, my friend?
Yeah, I'm all good. Where's your name? It just says Cole. I've kept Spanish buzz.
I need to edit it. I need to edit this. You're right. Edit name. Boom. And that is that. It is Spanish Buzz and Woody here, bringing you all of the football news for this Super Sunday. Is today Super Sunday? I feel like every Sunday is a Super Sunday according to the.
Yeah, Sky Sports always have it down as Super Sunday.
Super Sunday.
They always have it because they've always got games on Sundays, haven't they? So they call it Super Sundays all the time.
I think that takes away from it. Yeah, it should only be a Super Sunday if it's like Liverpool United, like today, like in 20 minutes. So we all, we play the prediction. We play the predictions. How have yours been going so far? We'll just let everyone have a little peek into what you've got. Don't tell everybody their sports, but how have you been doing?
I've done really well, but I haven't. Whatever happens in the last game, I can't beat the person who's got the most this week. I've actually got 3 correct predictions and 2 correct scores. So for me, I've got 11 points. I've done really well, but saying that, no. I know. Let me have a look. I'll tell you whether I can win because there's somebody that's already way in front. Right. Even if I got the correct prediction in the next game, the person who scored the most this week, I still couldn't catch them.
Woo!
So someone's done really, really, really well at the moment, and all they need is a Liverpool victory. If they get the correct score, then I think they're on for a record for weekly points.
Sheesh. Let's have them go. Let's go. I don't know. I think this Liverpool United match is going to be a wild one. I'm really hoping that United give them a run for their money. Nobody wants to see Liverpool roll them over.
I've got the correct prediction in Chelsea 2-0. I had Newcastle to beat Fulham 3-0, and I had Arsenal to beat Brighton 2-0.
Nice.
I had Tottenham to win 3-0, but they won 2-0, so I get a point for that. And I had Everton to win 2-1 away. They won 2-0.
Dang. Don't you hate it when a team's better than you expected them to be? You're like, oh, okay. Yeah, they'll get scored on.
Nobody scored any points for Bournemouth Luton for obvious reasons because of what happened with Tom Lockyer.
True, yes.
No one, only one person scored any points at all was Manchester City versus Palace because it was a 2-2 draw, and that was our famous Brian Dable with his Desmond Tutu.
That is hilarious. He got that by default.
He was the only person. With the Newcastle Fulham game, I was the only person to get the correct prediction, but there was a few people that got the correct team to win. Burnley versus Everton. We got Ben, Danny, and Scott M all got the exact result, correct prediction result. Everyone else, there's quite a few people that went for the right way for Everton to win. Arsenal Brighton, I was the only one that got the correct prediction.
Listen to that. Nice.
I think there wasn't that many people that had the home win, and that's because I think what we do as a fan base is when we're doing predictions, because we don't want to see Arsenal win, people would automatically go for a draw or an Arsenal defeat.
Yeah,
and that's more our heart speaking than our heads.
Like a gut reaction kind of a deal. Yeah, absolutely.
And then with the Brentford Aston Villa, you've got Top Spurs got the correct prediction. Josh, Ellie, and Danny all got the correct prediction with that, and there's quite a few people that got the correct way that Villa were going to win. Nobody predicted the correct West Ham score, but you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Only 7 people predicted that West Ham would win. So
that's wild, and I guess that's because they've been playing in Europe and all that other junk.
Right, so you've got it's ideal because Scott Emma was speaking about you earlier on to Colin about the predictions. You came in late, sir, because you'd missed the Tottenham game. But so far, you've got 1 correct prediction. You predicted 2-0 to Everton, but then you've also predicted the scores the right way in four other games. So you've correct, so Scott M's done well. Scott M's got, I think, 7 points so far this weekend. Scotham's done well. Wayne Bonner's here, and I'll tell Wayne as well where he's at. So
Wayne Bonner, hello, Wayne.
Wayne, you haven't got any exact correct scores yet, but you've got 5 correct score predictions, so 5 people that went the right way. And
5 points, homie.
And we've got Leo here. So Leo, you've currently got 3 correct scores going the right way, but not one prediction yet this week. But it's still
not yet.
And I don't think that many people have actually gone for Man United to win the last game.
Yeah,
Lee
probably not.
Smith, right? So Lee Smithy Smith currently has 1, 2, 3. Lee Smithy Smith currently has 4 predictions going the right way, but not a correct score. So
Right.
that is everyone that I can see in the chat so far that's put in.
Well,
their
big
names
up.
that's made a comment. So
Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's go through the chat and big up everybody. Adrian Strokas here. He went from afternoon all the way to evening. Adrian, big up, man. Glad you're here. Glad you stuck with us. Wayne Bonner, of course, says hello, everyone. Hope you're all all well and having a great weekend. Yeah, if I could read, I'd be better. Wayne also says, as long as I can solidify my mid-table status, I am happy. That's where I'm at too, brother. Leo, of course, is big up in the homies. Big up yourself, Leo. And then Scott puts a comment here that I love. I would rather get the Arsenal game wrong than predict a win. I think that's how a lot of us feel, Scott. Lee Smithy Smith, big up in the whole lot of everybody in here. Big up, Lee. Lots of love shown in the chat. I love it. Can't get enough of the love. All right, everybody. And as I say, welcome to Talking Ball, you legends. It's really nice to have you here. So Jose is really excited to leave in 14 minutes, maybe less, to go watch this Liverpool match. Let's get your prediction on it before you have to go. What is your?
I've got 5-0 in my prediction.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
and that hasn't changed at all. Like you haven't changed.
No. So
Okay.
currently, I'll tell you what we've got. I've got 5-0 to Liverpool. You've gone 2-1 Man United.
Okay.
Chris Meta Football's got 4-1 to Liverpool. Tot Spurs has gone 4-1 to Liverpool. Bobby K's gone 4-0 to Liverpool. You've got Josh and Ellie both saying 2-0 to Liverpool. You've got Kate saying 4-0 to Liverpool. Jim has gone 3-1 to Liverpool. Chris Peters says 2-1 to Liverpool. Ben Kaufman has gone 5-0 to Liverpool.
Jesus.
Yep. Tottenham Mum has gone 2-0 to Liverpool. Leo Marhai has gone 4-1 Liverpool. Jamie's gone 3-0 Liverpool. We've got David Garage Hotspur at 5-0 to Liverpool. Soji and Steak have both gone 4-0 to Liverpool. Wayne Bonner has gone 2-0 to Liverpool. Adrian Shoka has gone for a Desmond Tutu. Ash has gone 3-0 to Liverpool. Lee Smithy Smith, 3-0 to Liverpool. Who's News, 2-0 to Liverpool. Danny, 3-0 to Liverpool. Beer Talk, 3-1 to Liverpool. Nita, 3-0 to Liverpool. Rich, 3-1 to Liverpool. Dry Roasted Peanut, 4-1 to Liverpool. Scott M, 4-1 to Liverpool. And finally, Brian Daigle, Desmond Tutu.
Well, Brian Daigle might again get another of his Desmonds correct. I don't know. I think this match is going to be a lot closer.
Adrian's got the Desmond as well.
I think this is going to be a lot closer than people think. It's one of those matches. It's a derby game or a derby match. You know what I mean? Its form kind of goes out the window. Clearly, Liverpool are the better team. I mean, I think that's goes without saying. But
Daniel E's just joined us. Well done, Daniel. Daniel, do you want me to tell you how you've done this week? Do you want me to tell everybody how you've done this week? Or do you want
we'll tell the whole world.
Or do you want to keep it till tomorrow?
Let us know, Dan. And I think I was the one that predicted Manchester United win. So we'll see if that happens. Scott pointing out that I am the crazy one. Yes.
Right, so Daniel. To tell us. Okay, so Daniel, this week so far, for the week, you're leading it. You're not just leading it, you're killing it. Right? Daniel E, you got the correct prediction for Tottenham at 2-0. There's no score in Bournemouth-Luton because it got abandoned. Daniel, you got the correct prediction of 2-0 with Chelsea versus Sheffield United. You scored no points with Man City Palace because you went for 4-0. It was a 2-2 draw. You then went 2-1 to Newcastle against Fulham. It was 3-0, but you score a point because you went the right way.
Nice.
Burnley 0, Everton 2. You got the prediction bang on at 2-0. So it's another correct one.
There we go.
You then went 2-1 Arsenal Brighton. It finished 2-0. You pick up another point for correctly guessing Arsenal. You then predicted Brentford 1, Villa 2, which is the correct scoreline again. And then in the last one, you went 2-0 to West Ham and they won 3-0. So at the moment, as things stand, you currently have 14 points for the week.
Woo!
And
Woo!
I'm currently on 11, but you have 14. And it's the highest I think we've seen in 1 week.
Wonderful. And that's what we always say, too. Whenever we say you can come back, you don't have to start at the beginning. You can start at any time. You can have a week like that, and boom, you're at top of the table almost.
And if Man United win, if Liverpool win, you and I will both pick up a point. But you've actually predicted 3-0, and I've predicted 5-0. Big up Quiz Ali.
Quiz Ali, yeah, very nice to have you here. Always nice to see your name pop up. I hope you're having a great Sunday. I hope everybody here is having a great Sunday.
I'll tell you what, Colin. Right, I'm due to go in a minute. So
yeah,
if anyone's interested in coming on, can you let us know? And if you do, we'll put the link up in the chat. If anyone's interested in coming on and joining Colin, Lee Smithy Smith, I know that you've been itching to come on or to come onto channels. So if you're about and you want to come on, mate, let us know. Let us know and we'll get you on. And if anyone else, so Leo, if you want to come on, you're still here. Wayne, Scott M, Daniel Lee, Quiz Ali, and Adrian. Any of you that want to come on, let us know. If anyone wants to come on, we'll post the link up.
And I think I might. So yeah, Adrian, I don't know what you're doing. Wearing a robe for sure. For sure, Adrian's got a robe on today. It is a bit nipply outside. So yeah, I'll definitely keep going. Just
to give you the lineups, because you said Man United have got a chance today, yeah? So I'm going to give you the lineups, right?
Please do, yes.
Liverpool have gone with Alisson in goal, and their back four is Arnold, Konate, Van Dijk, Tsimikas. In midfield, they've got Szoboszlai, Endo, and Gravenberch, and their forward three are Salah, Nunez, Diaz. Manchester United starting lineup is Onana in goal. They have Dalot, Evans, Varane, Shaw. In the midfield, they have Mainu, McTominay, Amrabat. And up front, they've gone with Anthony, Højlund, Garnacho. The teams that I can see at the moment, Liverpool, I'm looking at them murdering Man United. Yeah, Danny, you got 3-0 and I've got 5-0. If there was a victory, we both pick up a point each. But if you were to get the correct score prediction, then you would beat me this week by 5 points. If I was to get the correct prediction, you'd beat me by a point. But still, what you've done so far, seeing that we've dropped one result because we couldn't have the Bournemouth-Luton score because of obvious reasons, and our best wishes go out to Tom Locke here. You've done really, really well. Scott M, I hope you feel better, mate. I hope you feel better.
Can you hear me?
I can now, yeah. But
okay.
Scott M has said, I'm not going on anymore, and even if I were, I'm super sick, so probably couldn't join, but we'll hang out in the chat. So Scott M,
listen, Christ. Sorry you're sick, buddy.
Yeah, great vibes for you, mate. I hope you feel better soon, mate. I hope you feel better soon.
Yeah. Everybody's getting sick. I don't know what the deal is here.
Yeah, Danny's coming in with, I need more weeks like this. I want to catch up as soon as possible. So,
yeah, you do, Daniel. Hey, can you hear me okay now still? Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I'll switch microphones.
Guys, if any of you in the chat, want to come on, then let us know that you want to come on and we'll post the link for people to come on. Yeah.
And I'm gonna post it for one person right here. It's the robed man himself.
Oh, you're sending it to Adrian.
Yo, Adrian. Yep. I'm not sure if he'll be able to jump in or not, but I'm definitely gonna set him up here. And then I have another person who said they would like to join in a bit. If I can go that long, that would be Josh.
Okay.
WWR3.
Okay. Oh, Smithy Smith's not feeling well either. Look. Oh,
Man,
God.
everybody is sick. What's going on with you guys? Or is it's not the vid, is it? You're all safe there. No.
Another one, Lee. I hope you feel better soon as well, buddy. Yeah, it's not nice being ill at all and not feeling well at all, let alone this time of the year. But at any time, it's not good when our bodies are not right. So I hope all people whose bodies are not right, I hope that you're on the mend pretty quick. All of you.
100%. I agree completely. Jose, you need to get out of here to get your match on, don't you?
Yeah, but I was just hoping that someone would have joined possibly before I'd left. So I'm just hoping that's the case.
It is all good. I was going to say, I have sent Adrian the link. He looks like he has seen it. And then, like I said, Josh was talking about running his boys to the bus stop, and then he would be back. I'm sure
there's a song there somewhere, running the boys to the bus stop.
There might be. I can make you one.
Can I just say to you, I've not had a chance to say to you, can I say to you on the thumbnail, good job.
Thank you.
Good job there. I can see a photograph of me, so it's a good job. I sent you a few today because I don't have many photographs of me. I don't. I had to really search for the photographs I sent you today. So I think I sent you 4, 5, maybe 6. Now they would have been taken in the last 10 years because I don't have many photographs of me in it.
Yeah, you seem like one of those types of people. You don't like the attention, but then you get on here, and then anybody can get a photograph of you on here. Interesting, but no. But we'll. I will get some more of those made. I liked making the one we made for today. Two chaps and a cat talk Spurs.
And then it might be an idea as well for if we get a lineup for the show for this week, is if we get everyone's photographs for each show.
That would be good. Yeah, we absolutely need to do. I'll ask you real quick one more question before you head out. We went into last weekend playing first. Do you enjoy that, or would you rather not play first? Does it bother you at all? Do you care?
No, it doesn't bother me. But what's nice is to go first and get a victory, because then everybody's playing chasing you, aren't they? Oh, look who it is! It's the man himself.
There is somebody here. He's got a robe on.
Champion.
What is up, my man?
There he is.
Are you doing well, Adrian? How's everything?
Yeah, I've just put the kettle on. I might have to disappear in 30 seconds, right?
Why don't you disappear? Why don't you disappear now so I can still talk before I jump up and then you'll be back. And then we'll be back in time. That's all right. No worries.
There he goes. Wonder what's in that bookcase over there. Looks like he's got some good books.
Yeah, so to me, I don't mind playing first. And the victory makes it much sweeter. But I would say, Colin, looking at the table at the moment, if Liverpool were to go and get their win, which we think they're going to,
I don't think they're going to.
We would be a point off Man City, and then the gap after that is 5 points to Villa. Yeah. So yeah, it's about picking up the points. Good afternoon, John Fitz.
Yeah, John Fitzpatrick, the Irishman who resided in Australia for so long. He is now back in his homeland. John Fitzpatrick, everyone. My good friend. Welcome, John. Yes, I was trying to see what books were in there, Daniel. You saw me. You caught me.
What books?
Your bookshelf, or your book cabinet over there.
So let me show you something. Let me show you. It's I only live in a small terrace. Oh shit! What happened there? Right. I'll show you books. Eh? I've done.
I bet you there's some good books in there. They look like the nice ones.
Hang on. Where's my camera? Yeah.
There you go. It looks like there might be some mail in there too, or letters.
If I had,
which is through the keyhole or something now.
I was gonna say, if I had an hour in there just to look through all your cool books.
What about? Do you like CDs? Do you?
Oh, what? Hold on, I gotta go back to solo layout. That is awesome. Look at that CD collection. I bet you there's some good ones in there too. Guys, we're really getting treated. This is like MTV Cribs.
Okay.
It's called Through the Keyhole in this country. Yeah, we play Through the Keyhole.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, gone. Shit.
No, they're still there. Still there. You've got loads of books there as well. I can see you.
Hang on. Let me get out this. I've got the new tabs coming. It's blocked me out.
You're still there. We can still see you.
Man, right here. Yeah.
Right.
More books. Yeah, I saw that. I said that. It was more books.
Have you read all of those books?
And hang on.
And more books. You're a reader, and that actually, it makes a lot of sense because you're the historian.
There are 2 layers
actually.
There's layers behind them as well. Okay. It's not even a nose run.
He likes to read a book, our Adrian, doesn't he?
Yeah, he sure does. That's how he knows so many things. Everybody, Adrian Sroka, doing it all. Let me get this off of here so we can see all of us.
I like rock music and classical music. Them CDs,
there you go.
That's 1,500 classical CDs there.
Woo! My gosh. Do you just have one playing? Like
I can't believe since I've done the house. I think to just put classic FM on. It's just easier.
You've got Danny say keep the tour going, and
good
you've got
to chill to, classic FM.
Wayne Bonner says, "Who lives in a house like this?"
Yeah, an old decrepit Spurs fan.
That's the program I'm talking about, Colin. It's called Through the Keyhole, and at the end of doing the tour, the person would say, "Who lives in a house like this?"
That's hilarious. That's awesome. I had no idea. It's weird how they have so many of the same programs, like, but they just changed them slightly. But we don't have Naked Attraction. That's just one thing that we just don't get over here. Unfortunately,
Daniel said keep the tour going.
Yeah,
it was a fun tour.
About 700 books. I'm not sure.
I'm gonna love
a lot of the collection items because they've got the gold leaf on the pages and round the side and the leather.
Yeah, they look nice. That's what caught my eye. But Jose, go catch your match, buddy.
Right, I'm gonna leave you guys. Have a good show and well done. Keep it up the chat. Get these 2 boys talking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big up the chat. Big up the chat. See you later, Adrian. See you later, Cole.
Yeah.
Hey, see you, Jose. Have a good one, buddy.
All right.
And as Jose says, everybody, Adrian is still here. Jose, I'm taking you out. There we go. So as Jose was saying, big up to everybody in the chat. It's because of you guys that we've got things to talk about. But
everyone's
not
dropping like flies. Danny, why doesn't Danny come on?
Yeah, it'd be really nice to have him. It looks like I think we're gonna get another person on in just a bit. Josh from this channel and Speaking Spurs and all the other stuff that he does. Scott M though saying if he's not careful with that robe, you might get a bit of Naked Attraction on this stream.
I've always got a Spurs top on underneath this. I mean, I've got just the grey one, right? I must have about 8 of these this colour because I just say to people at Christmas, just get me sweatshirts.
Yeah,
I've
absolutely.
Got the blue one and this
something useful.
I've got so many of them, easy wearing. It's easy wearing stuff.
Absolutely comfy. Keeps you warm. Got your Spurs boys on it. So Adrian, you're not much of a. I don't want to say. I almost said you're not much of a football fan, but that's not what I mean. But you're not much of the fan of football outside of Spurs.
No, I'm very Spurs centric.
I am the same way, really.
Because when you think about it, I mean, I will go and look. I will watch other Premier League games if I'm in the mood and all that. I'm only usually concerned about our rivals when we actually play them,
right?
When they actually come to the stadium. And there's enough about Spurs to keep you going, and the group that I've got. There's enough to keep you going. And I can go and watch other teams and their players. I remember I was on one podcast and somebody asked me about the Man United squad. And I said, look, I often see players that I like or dislike, but how can you assess them over 1 or 2 games when you see them throughout the season? I mean, I'm not going to see all Chelsea, all Arsenal, Man United, all Liverpool's games all through the season, our rivals or Man City's or whatever. Yeah. I'll watch the odd one, if I'm in the mood to watch it. Otherwise, my time's better spent elsewhere, I'm always trying to find out as much information as I can about Spurs, what's in the present and what might be happening in the future. And when I come on the show, I always try to bring facts to that show, you know, and make a sort of another reason debate to base those facts up. So, you know,
absolutely.
Fact of the day, right? Spurs have gained more points away from home than any team in the Premier League, and Spurs have scored more goals away from home than any team in the Premier League, right? So
I knew that we had been having the most goals scored after a certain point in the match too, like the most late goals. But I don't know if that stat continued or not. But yeah, no, go ahead. I interrupted you, and that was very rude. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
But no, that's some wonderful stuff. Wonderful facts. I have a question, and this is a random question, but I just wanted to kind of pick your brain at it. And you have to consider the fact that, one's homegrown. But if you could only keep one of Pierre-Emile Højbjerg or Skippy, who do you pick?
I keep Skip because out of the two of them, he's not a sexy player, Oliver Skip, is he? But
not at all.
I just think with Basuma out the team, he's the next choice as number 6. I don't see Højbjerg as a number 6. I see him more of a sort of central midfield player in the old days. Now they give him all different names,
Right, yeah. I get what you mean, though. He does a little bit of going forwards and backwards.
And I think we're going to see more of Skip. And I like he shows he can do the job as number. It's not for players when they're on form. When Basuma's on form, it's a very sexy number 6 looking in the first 10 games.
Yeah,
but
yeah, absolutely.
That defensive midfielder, sometimes when you've had the best ones in the past, even like Makaleli and things like superb, best in the world at a job and things like that. But I wouldn't class them as like super sexy, because a lot of the times when their teams are doing well and there's thumping teams, they got a 3-goal lead. You might see back in the day the defensive midfielder on the opponent's penalty area. But yeah, he Basuma on song, he's like a sexy number 6 come shotgun playmaker from the back, isn't he? Right? But his form hasn't been greatest, and now he's off, and it's unfortunate it coincides with the winter break and all that. So and foreign competitions, so we ain't going to see him till late January or whatever, or February. So, but that's his fault now. He's got to sit on the sidelines. He's got to learn from it, isn't he? Because he's not a dirty player.
No, and I don't feel like that was a dirty tackle either. It was just poor. I don't know if it was desperation or what, but yeah, that was not good. But I think in the old days that would have only been a yellow. I don't think that would have been given a red.
It was
10 years ago.
Up, though. You can't go in. I mean, Romero's one was similar, but it was a bit more momentum behind it. But it's you can't go in studs up, not on a shin. You can't do it. Yeah, I mean, people might say I weren't much power behind it, but that's not the point. You've got to discourage those sort of tackles, even against our players. Right? So you can't go in. I mean, I'm continuing with Skip. Yeah, I get he's not sexy, so he sucks. Right? Look at Ben Davies. Not sexy that he sucks, but he's had 2 of his best games for Spurs. He's had 2 of his best games for Spurs. I don't want him moved from alongside Romero now, because they've got some sort of an understanding. I mean, the fear is he'll go to left back in these games and they'll put Dyer in, Emerson Royal in, or even Emerson Royal at left back. I would give Dorrington a go. I really would. And he's a good bowler as well. If you're going to move Davis to left back, then I would bring Dorrington in. But Dyer was on the bench, so what does that tell you?
Exactly.
And Emerson's back. So you're going to think it's going to be one of those two. All right, we could still beat Everton with one of those two, but it shows that with these suspensions, our lack of depth, really. But yeah, and back to Skip again though, because we should see more of him. He has played well for us in the past, and and he's had in between games. I mean, I can't recall too many you'd say really awful games by him, but it's like when he probably hasn't been involved in a game or something so much like. But
he doesn't make mistakes that lead directly to goals. He doesn't.
I just think it's just his size. I like my defensive midfielders to be units, right?
A little bigger, yeah.
I mean, I always said I've always said this, and people have laughed at me. I've got a few pelters because Romero played in a back three in Italy and would move into midfield. I said, if you're not looking at a shotgun Basuma type defensive midfielder, Romero's got the skill set to be a defensive midfielder. But we haven't got a glut of centre backs. That's the thing. So you wouldn't think of it, right?
Yeah,
because
we're not blessed in that department.
That's not going to happen. But he could do it. I'm absolutely sure he could do it. And if you, one thing, all right, it would take about, people say he's not the tallest in the air. He's not. One, all right, less chance of him being more of a risk and giving away a penalty or something like that, things like that. So you would sort of alleviate any fears you've got in that direction if he's playing a little bit forward. But under handball, he's virtually playing in midfield anyway, because when we play a higher line, we're up on their line. But we didn't play a higher line against Nottingham Forest. And I don't expect it to be too much of a high line against Everton at home either.
Yeah, speaking of Everton at home, that's a nice.
We haven't been playing 4-3-3, so Ange does change up because it's been more of a 4-2-3-1, right? Although systems on paper, that's what they are when you show the team starting lineup. When you're on the pitch, everything's fluid and changeable, So it's just sort of a guide, isn't it?
Exactly. But you were talking about Romero. We see Romero frequently, you know what I mean, really far up the pitch. Even whenever we've got that high line, he's meandering into their half and getting play started. So like you were saying, I agree. If we didn't have Basuma to kind of be the quarterback, if I could borrow an American football term from back there, then Romero probably could have done. You're right. He's got some of those long passes in his locker, sort of like Toby Alderweireld, not to that level, of course, but similar.
I thought after Darren Davis, he had a good game. Don't get me wrong, he did walk the tightrope. There was a couple of times I thought he could have copped a book in. But when you see him on the touchline, he's running. He does, like most players in the past, they'd kick the ball into touch. But he'll stand with his back to the opponent who's behind him, trying to get the ball off him. He holds the ball well, he shields it. He's a superb defender. I know Absolutely. He's got this disciplinary flaw in his character, but he's a brilliant defender. We could never get rid of him. I mean, people say, sell Romero because he's a risk, sell Basuma because he's a risk. Are you mad? Look, we've got other players we need to sell before we consider getting rid of them. I could list 14, right, that I've got down. I mean, we could talk about how many. Get my notebook.
You came with notes today.
Yeah, well, no, I wrote this down the other time. No, I was just thinking about. Yeah, he's a good player, but there's possibly, unless Ange wants to keep one or more of these, we know that Dyer and Lloris are going to go, right? We know that Perisic is going to go, right?
Oh yeah, for sure, Perisic. Yeah,
so that's 3. But now you leave Roden and Spence. How much do you reckon we'd get for Roden and Spence? 10 mil each?
Sounds fair. Yeah, that sounds fair. I could see it.
More. I think we paid a bit more for Roden. I think Spurs would want about 15 for him, and probably for Spence as well, because we must have paid 20 for Spence, yeah?
I think we did 20 to 25, somewhere in that
region. That's 5 players. Now you've got Reguilon and Sessegnon.
Seems like United are happy. It seems like United are happy to keep Reguilon, from what I understand.
Yeah, and Sessegnon, will Ange get a tune out of him? I know all these players divide the fan base. They divide me as well, right? But I mean, I'm just saying. So if you got 30 mil for Roden and Spence, what do you reckon we get for Reguilon and Sessegnon? 30 mil again?
Yeah, let's go ahead and say that, just conservatively, 60? Just to be safe.
All right, so that's 4, 5, 6. That's 7 players we've covered already. Tanganga and then Ndombele.
Oh God, I bet we could get 10 out of Ndombele.
So that's 70 mil.
And then Tanganga,
another 10.
Yeah, fair.
80 mil. Okay, so now we've got through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players, right? Now, what about Celso? Lo Celso, he's got to be worth 30 mil, isn't he?
If he can say fit, Jose, I called you Jose on accident, but Adrian, if he can say fit, then I think so. But I'm not sure about his fitness,
Right, so we've gone. So we're now over 100 mil, aren't we? What about Gil?
Yeah, he can go. Let's get 15 to 20 for him, I would say. Yeah.
So we're saying 30, 60, 90, Ndombele and Tanganga. What do we say for Ndombele and Tanga?
10 each.
That's 110. Gil, what?
We said 15, 20.
So you're looking at 130 mil. We ain't going to get rid of all of these in January, though. So 130 mil. Then you've got the possibility of Skip, Højbjerg, and Emerson, because Emerson lacks technique. That's 14 players. All right, we know some are going anyway, but
Yeah. And that's money. And like you said, we don't have to spend the full transfer fee that a player commands right then. You know what I mean? We can put it out over time. You can pay in installments, which we would do with that money. So yeah, that's not just one big player there with that money. That could be multiple players.
yeah. And I believe I haven't looked at today's. I haven't had time to go on all my feeds today yet, so I haven't looked to see what the rumors are flying about players. But I was going on yesterday about the fact that there's 2 weeks to the January transfer window, roughly, yeah. But these next 2 weeks, guys, I'll just be a bit cautious about who we're linked with, because in an ideal situation, we have been rumoured to be with anyway, but in an ideal situation, we would only virtually have deals agreed, ready to be finalised come January. If it means we're still chasing players in the last 2 weeks leading up to the January transfer window, then our recruitment team haven't been doing their job. So I believe we've probably got deals close to being finalised. I reckon there was intense negotiations with Samuel Lin Jr. and Radu Dragusin.
Yeah.
I'll take both of those. I don't know a lot about them, but they add to the squad depth, don't they? So
yeah, and if they're names that Postecoglou himself has asked for, then I absolutely want them. You know what I mean?
I think Paratici would be involved in those deals anyway if they are, and I think
Scott saved me up lots of time because Levy won't even start negotiating until January 29th.
Yeah, I know. I understand the lack of faith, but our recruitment's got a lot better in the last couple of seasons. But we still got more than one window. I still reckon we've got about to get rid of the rest. I reckon
3 windows.
Yeah, I reckon 3 windows.
I'm on the same page.
Davies will stay next season, and he's 6. He's he's sort of an average 6 player, not sexy and all that. But them last 2 games he's played really well. You've got to give him credit for that when a player plays well. Skip again. I think he'd be the number 6, but I don't want to see him being pushed off the ball. So unless you give that job to Sarr, if you gave it to Sarr, then Skip probably sits on the bench because he's not playing as an 8. Right? That's not happening. Yeah. So then Højbjerg would probably come in with either Kulu, and we'll see, depending if a bid's coming for Lo Celso already and anything like that, otherwise you'd think, well, do you go with 2 sort of number 10s? Do you go in with he has done it in the past, Ange, really. Would he go in with Lo Celso, Kulusevski, and Sarr as the number 6?
I could see it. I really could. That'd be quite an attacking group there, but I like it. I like the idea.
Sarr's one booking away from a suspension, I think.
That's true. Yeah.
So depending if Ange takes it in his calculation, if he thinks, well, there ain't too much in it between Skip and Højbjerg, you may start with Højbjerg. But it was interesting that Skip came on at Forest, So
I thought so too. Yeah, I thought so too. But real quick, before it gets totally buried and I forget about it, Daniel saying, let's talk about how an Everton game a month ago would have been an easy game for us. Not anymore though. Since Everton got that deduction, their form has improved massively. That's a good point. I don't know about you, Adrian, but I'm still not particularly afraid of Everton, at all.
I'm not afraid of anyone at home. I think we can beat anyone at home.
Absolutely.
Even sometimes the crowd make a difference at home. The home crowd help a lot. I'm not afraid. Dan's right. Everton are in good form. They should give us a game.
Yeah, and that points decrease has seemed to galvanize the team a bit. And if it's true that they're going to get another points deduction, did you hear? I've heard that there's going to be maybe a further points deduction on them. I think it's a further 9 points. Crazy. It's a good thing they're picking up points.
Well, I haven't looked at those. Was that today you saw that?
No, Jose told me yesterday.
I haven't seen that anywhere.
Another rule they were found to have breached. I can Google it real quick. Everton.
Yeah, let's see what it is, because that'd be interesting.
Deduction.
Because Chelsea and Man City are going to get absolutely hammered. This is because the Premier League
Copies face another points deduction this season after new Premier League regulation. Everton could be at risk of further deduction if they're found to have broken financial rules. So hold on one second. Facing the threat of administration and second points deduction as 777 Partners takeover is delayed due to challenge Premier League due diligence checks. So it says over 100 million loan to Everton by 777 Partners. They're not willing to keep funding the club in the new year if the takeover isn't completed. But yeah, basically, I guess they got some money in loans. But I don't know. They're not able to pay them back, I guess.
The money spent on like Women's Super League, your academies, infrastructure like stadiums, all that doesn't go against you regarding FFP.
What about payment? What about payment of staff and stuff? Does that go against you? Do you know?
Yeah, because I think that's part of revenue and expenditure.
Okay.
But when it comes down to the investment side, there's different rules regarding investment. As far as I know, Sean Butler would know even more about this.
He would. Sean's the man when it comes to the finance.
Yeah, he's the man. The one thing I was curious about was they changed the rule recently. No more 8-year contracts, 5-year contracts, right?
5 years is the maximum now?
Yeah. We've given Dogie 6.5 years, right? I think.
Yeah.
Now,
2030.
This 5-year was to stop them leveraging or amortizing the transfer fee of, say, 80 million over 8 years at 10 million a year. Now you can only do it over 5. I think financial fair play for all clubs works in the last 3 years of their accounts anyway. I think that's the way it works, goes back 3 years. What I was curious about, so that's on a player if you buy a player, Colin, yeah? If you buy a player, you can only leverage that fee over the 5 years of his contract max, yeah? But what if your player's already at the club? Because Udogie was paid for and he was already at Spurs. They've given him, I think, the 6.5 year contract before the rules changed.
Right before. Like, they must have known that rule change was
so, I mean, if you were tomorrow, say, to give, this is going to be ridiculous, you could, I would think, in theory, you could give Dyer an 8-year contract, but you wouldn't be penalised because you haven't bought him.
I got you.
I'm wondering how it works with contract renewals. I'm not quite clear. Logically, I'm thinking Udogie can have it because he was paid for and let out on loan time before. So can we still, does that mean that we can't give renewed contracts to Son or, I mean, it wouldn't be Son, it'd be someone younger. So say it was Sarr, who's next. Now the rule's in place, but we bought Sarr, right? He's been paid for. Does that stop us giving him more than the 5-year contract now?
Daniel says no, that it applies only to transfers.
Right, good. I hope it does, Dan, because we can give him a 6-7 year contract if we want to then.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, my thinking was leaning that way, but I mean, I like to be sure about these things, you know?
Absolutely.
It's like I'm hoping debating whether Sarr actually is homegrown next season.
I don't know that either. Yeah, that's something else that I've been wondering about myself.
If you've been with a club 3 years, you're classed as homegrown. So if you're a foreign player and you join Spurs at 17, by the time you're 20, you're homegrown because you're under the 21 cut-off point. Now, Udogie went out on loan. I was debating this with someone. I couldn't convince the other guy he was wrong, and he couldn't convince me I was wrong either, right? And he was saying no because he was foreign. I went, hang about. He was in France. He was still registered with our club. He's our player. So technically, even if he's coached abroad or gone abroad on loan, to me, he still counts as homegrown because we own him. And I went to look at the rule, and the rule was a bit ambiguous. And the guy was saying, well, this isn't a rule. I said, well, how you interpret it? He said, like this one. So I'm interpreting it that way. So I'm still, he's only one player, but it'd be handy if he is classed as homegrown. If he's not, well, it doesn't matter, does it? We get on with it anyway. But I like it clarified. I'd like to know. I'd like to know these things. So.
Yeah, me too. And there's not a good place to like ask, you know. It's not like there's like some kind of like a hotline we could phone into and say, hey, what's this rule? Like, explain this to me. No way to do that,
I
unfortunately.
mean,
So we
I
do
heard,
have
I
this.
heard even Alistair Gold say like he's classed as homegrown, but
Well, if Ali G says it,
he's usually 90.9% most of the time, but he's not always right because
that's true. Yeah.
so
We're all human. We all
Yeah.
make mistakes.
yeah.
For anybody wondering and not watching themselves, it is still 0-0. The Liverpool and Manchester United match. As guests, Liverpool kind of seem to be all over them, but we'll see if that continues, everybody. But yeah, says we got 8 people in the house right now. Big up to each and every one of you 8 lovely people on this day where there is football to watch. You're here spending your day with us, Adrian and Colin. We really appreciate it. But yeah, Adrian.
Sessegnon, how long left on his contract? I think he's still got another year after this season.
Let me check. That's an easy Google away.
And well, Ange will have a look at him. He's training, so they reckon the operation fixed his hamstrings this time. There's a lot they can do with hamstrings nowadays, though.
Yeah, it looks like he's got 1 year after this year. You're correct. Yes,
Right.
sir.
So Ange will assess him when he's back. I mean, let's be fair. He is a skillful player. He'll look skillful in training. It's a question what else Ange is looking for from him. You know, if he could turn him around, that would be great because then we got cover for Udogie. So that would be great, wouldn't it? I mean, and you've still got Ben Davies who's going to be with us another year. And fine, I'm happy with him to stay another year because he's proven to be a good utility player. And he looks better when he doesn't have to play with Dyer. So alongside a better centre-back like Romero. So, yeah. So...
Yeah, for sure. Real quick, I just want to say Dragon D's Nuts is in the house. What up, Dragon? Good to have you here. Big up. So I think I've asked you this question before, but hold up. Let me see. But do you mind when we play during the week? Do you have like a preferred day you like to play? Do you mind playing the Friday match, like the first match of the week, or do you like to play later in the week? What's your preference on that?
I don't like late games.
You don't like
I
late
like
games?
3 o'clock kickoffs. I know it's worse for you guys, but
I like getting up early. It's fun.
Stadium kickoff, and then you can. I mean, you look at what they've done to Burnley in that FA Cup game on the 5th, right? I keep saying the 6th, it's Saturday. I keep forgetting it's changed, but on the 5th of January, Burnley have got to come all the way down from the northeast to play us in an 8 o'clock kickoff. So the game will be over by 10 o'clock. Then they've got to get all the way home, you know. I mean, as I'm local to the ground, I don't like, for selfish reasons, I don't like late kickoffs. I prefer the 3 o'clock kickoff. You know, 5 o'clock's not too bad, but not these 8 o'clock ones.
Yeah.
But all midweek games are late kickoffs anyway for Europe and that, so I have to put up with that.
It's a kind of thing too. It messes up your whole day. I know you like to not just go and watch the match, but you like to hang out with people. You like to cut up, have a couple beers at the brewery there. No, what's your bar? What's your pre-match bar?
Well, I might nip in the Gilpin Belt to see a few Dorset Spurs or something, just to see who's in there, anyone else I know, and then I'll go. I like to be in the ground an hour before kickoff, though. You know, maybe have a beer in there. I don't always have a beer in there, like, you know.
Just kind of soaking it all in, saying hey to all your friends, all the people who sit near you, and all that good stuff.
Well, the bar, because when you go in the south stand, it steps down, and you've got all the food modules there. You've got the Chinese food module, Indian, chicken and chips, fish. Oh, you got all sort of food modules. But then further from them, you've got the goal line bar, and that's 56 meters long. It's the biggest bar in Europe, and
I've actually witnessed it. I've been to the stadium on a tour, but never for a match. So I've seen that big old bar.
And in the middle of the bar, a lot of fans congregate, and you can tell when the beer's kicked in because they start singing about an hour before kickoff. Like if it's an Arsenal game, it'd be about an hour before kickoff. Like, and the atmosphere they start to raise the roof, and then after the game when we win, they come down the stairs and they're actually not in the goal line bar, but in the steps, above the steps. The fans are all there, and they're usually like singing like mad after the game. Like, it's a good atmosphere, and people all got their phones out taking pictures of them doing it, you know. And No, it's a
Oh
great.
yeah, I've seen those videos. Yeah,
Yeah.
especially the post West Ham ones. West Ham get battered.
Yeah, those were.
Go.
Yeah.
Those
And then
are good ones.
outside, of course, the South Stand, you've got that vast area of the fan zone, and
Yeah.
there's bars and food outlets there, and merchandising outlets there as well. And in summer, it's great out there, you know. And
I bet.
If there's a game on prior to us playing, it'll be on a big screen out in the fan zone anyway. Yeah, so
Nice. That's
yeah.
cool. They do that for you guys. Absolutely. Awesome. Nice job. But one of the couple, few nice things that Spurs does for its fans. I just wanted to ask everybody in the chat and you yourself, Adrian, what are your predictions for the match against Everton? Do you think it's going to be easy? Do you think Everton's newfound sense of unity, maybe, the world against us kind of thing? Do you think that's going to? I know that you said we can take anybody at home, but do you think we will take them at home? Do you think that, do you think this is going to be an easy win for the Spurs boys?
We're all waiting for the. Apart from the Newcastle game, we're all waiting for us to show a bit more consistency at home and score a few more extra goals at home. And under Ange, that's possible even with a scratch team. It's just the system allows for that. If you get the ball forward and you've got it to Sonny or Richarlison, who's looking good now, or Decky, who's looking good now, then we could. It could be close, or we could spank them. I don't see them beating us. I just don't think they will.
I hope you're right. I so hope you're right. It would really sting. It would really that would be a hard one to swallow.
At worst, I'd go with Scotland a score draw, but I think we'll nick it 2-1, 3-1, something like that.
From your lips to God's ears, my friend. I hope you are correct. And then also, and this question also goes out to the chat. Who covers Destiny? So we've got Udoji out for the match. Who fills in? Because we have Ben Davis playing center back right now. He'd be the normal guy to go out to left back, but with him as a center back.
And he's always been conservative before. And we've had players come back and we didn't expect them to see him on the bench or even in the team. That has happened this season. So I'm hoping Sessegnon's fit enough to play, because I would play him.
Right.
His better games were away at Bayern Munich when he scored a goal. I can remember him playing away at Man City. We lost that at that time there, but he coped well with Foden and Jesus at that time when he was still there on the left. So he can do it. The biggest crib with Sessegnon's been 1, injuries, and 2, under Conte, frightened to take the last man on, get down the byline and cross the ball and beat his man. But with the shackles released under Ange, we might see, I'm hoping we're going to see a different Sessegnon. I understand fans thinking, no, get rid. I get that. But our fans are quick to do that with players. But no, he's a very skilled, he'll have a football career, but whether it's with us at the end of the season, whether he's with us for another season, remains to be seen, but it certainly save us money in the transfer market. And
if we could get a tune out of him, you're saying,
we are rumored to like Cambiasso at Juve. Dan would know more about him, but he's 23, I think now.
Scott M with his usual optimism, saying he doesn't really care who, because we have no good options. Whoever we play there will suck. Says Scott. Again,
Emerson Royal wasn't comfortable on the left, was he? So the choices are Davis, and that's about it. Unless Sessegnon's fit, or you bring in I forget the left back we got from Southend in the under 21.
I honestly don't even know.
Actually, no. I wouldn't be concerned about Dorrington. He's good on the ball, but then it might mean that Davis would have to go to left back.
Davis the left back,
Dorrington's played left back as well, but he's centre back for the England side on the left.
Emerson is terrible. Davis is awful. Sess horrific. Says Scott M. Well,
yeah,
I do remember Ben Davis stopping a absolute goal the other day. Sticking out a foot.
You can't say Davis has been terrible the last 2 games, because
maybe at left back you can make that argument.
Putting 2 performances like that,
Exactly.
So I'm not having that one, Scott. But consistently, he's not been good enough. He was good back in the days of Rose and Poch.
Oh yeah, he definitely was. He kept Rose out of the team for a while, if you remember.
Yeah.
Big up Wayne back again. Says 4-2 or 4-3 Spurs. Wow, if we let Everton score 3 against us, I'm gonna have to slap Venom around a little bit after the match. He better not let 3 in. Come on.
Do you give you a historical fact, right?
Yes, please do.
In
Absolutely.
1958, Spurs appoint Bill Nicholson as manager, who come from the Arthur Road push and run side with Alf Ramsey, went on to win the World Cup with England.
Yep.
In his first match, we played Everton. Guys in the channel, what was the score? They'll all be going to their phones now.
I know. I'm about to Google it
in
myself.
1958, give you another clue. The result had a profound effect because the Everton manager resigned after the game.
Let's go 5-0.
More.
Wow, I'm gonna quit guessing. Maybe somebody actually knows, but you might have to tell us, Adrian. You might have to just let us know.
Yeah, Spurs won 10-4.
Wow, 10-4, good buddy.
And the Everton manager resigned.
Wow, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Resigning after a loss. That's gotta be tough.
We beat that score the following year.
Really? Jesus.
In the FA Cup. Yeah, it was freaky. I mean, I didn't see these games. I was too young. The next year I was at games on shoulders of parents and things. But in the 1959, I think I'm right, if I remember correctly, we played Crewe Alexandra away in the FA Cup, right? And we drew at their ground. Draw. We take them back to White Lane. We're 10-1 up at half time. And we go on to win 13-2.
13-2? Is that what you just said to me?
Yeah, 30. Don't ask me to name the goal scorers, right?
No, you're good. You're good. It's Josh. What up, brother?
What's happening, bro?
Josh, good to have you here, man. Of course, yeah, doing great. We're just talking about the match against Everton coming up. We're talking about who spells Destiny. Here are basically the last 2 things I put up. Who covers Destiny this weekend, and then predictions versus Everton. But and then we've got Scott in the chat. Big up to Scott being kind of a negative Nancy a little bit, but that's okay. That's why we love him. But he's saying that we're talking about how it looks like Davis has been a pretty good player, but he said he didn't watch Nottingham, thankfully, but he did nothing against Newcastle. Nothing against Newcastle that was any good.
I'm wondering if Scott M's watching the same kind of football we are, because he's clearly deluded. Every single time I watch the comments, it's Scott just being negative, time and time again. Go and support Arsenal if you can't get behind the team. If you can't see what we're doing and what we're trying to achieve, you're part of the problem. Stop being so negative.
I just want to make him
on the bench with Dyer against Nottingham Forest. Remind me, someone. Was Dorrington on the bench?
Dorrington was on the bench, yeah. So was Donnelly.
Good.
But Scott, you're not pointing out facts. You're not pointing out facts. Saying that Ben Davies did nothing against Newcastle, that's your opinion. That is your opinion.
Good game against Newcastle.
He was absolutely phenomenal against Forest as well. He's been a loyal servant the past couple of weeks.
He's been a loyal servant the past couple of years.
He vied with Kulu for man of the match against Forest. Opinion, and I thought, although Romero walked a tightrope, he could have picked up a yellow card. Romero, I thought Romero was fucking good as well. He was good, but fine, Scott, you're entitled to your opinions.
Yeah, of course you're entitled. Of course, Scott.
It's just a shame that your opinions are wrong.
I just wanted to ask. I just want to know what Spurs have to do to make you happy, because all I really want is for you to. I don't want to see a happy Scott. I want you to be in the chat just saying, oh, man, like Spurs did it again. We're the best. But like, what would it take? I just want to know what it would take to make you happy with Spurs. When was the last time you were happy with Spurs? I guess could be another way I could phrase it. But yeah, so yeah.
Tell you what, Scott M, I've got a question for you. Who are your favourite 2 Spurs managers? 2.
Ooh, great question. Great question. And that vape, is that a necklace? Does that vape have a necklace to it, Josh? It's around your.
Got a lanyard, yeah. It's a lanyard.
That's Clay. It's
Put
Clay.
it, put it this way. Put it this way, Scott. Put it this way, Scott. Right against Nottingham Forest, Sofa score. And you can take of this what you will. Sofa score rated 8.9 to Dejan Kulusevski. Who was the second behind that? Ben Davis with a 7.9. He was rated higher than Christian Romero. It just goes to show what this guy can actually offer to this team. Right? When it matters and he's there to fill in, he will fight for a place. Sit here and slate him all you want. Yeah, he's not fantastic every week.
He looks a different player because he's playing alongside Romero rather than Dyer. You know, so
that's a big plus.
He looks a different. So, Josh, how are we going to fix this number 6 problem and this left back problem for Everton?
Well, I didn't even know who Doji was out.
Yeah, he's
yellow card accumulation issue.
Oh, is he suspended? And then obviously pursued.
And Sar's on 4.
Yeah, and Sar's on 4. One more for Sar, and he's out as well. So
you're
yeah,
you're going to have to play Dorrington.
Yeah,
at left back or at centre back, because he can play both.
At centre back, and then you move over Ben Davis to the left.
They can interchange there though, those two, especially when you're defending free kicks and corners and stuff. I mean, but Dorrington's good on the ball. He is good on the ball. So, how good? Well, until they play in the Premier League, I'm not going to say. I mean, they look good.
Yeah. We could find out. We might. Very
the under-21s lost their first game of the season at West End, didn't they? So.
And just for context as well, Sofa score against Newcastle, not one single player was rated below 6. Not one single player was rated. Not one single player was rated below 7. Son was man of the match. Then Richarlison.
And Scott M. Just to add to Josh's good point on Newcastle, what about that touch with the end of his boot by Davis in the early minutes? We could have seen Newcastle go 1-0 up. That was a brilliant challenge. And he just got the ball to deflect it off of, was it Isaac or was it Gordon?
I'm just convinced that Scott's got an anti-Spurs agenda. Like, he doesn't actually support Tottenham. He's just there to slay.
I don't think that's true.
From everything that I see, mate, all it is him being negative and slating the team.
Well, some fans are just happy being negative.
And the thing is, I'm not afraid to call it out.
I think some fans use a bit of reverse psychology on themselves. They'll predict a Spurs loss in the hope that we really get the win. You know what I mean? Like to go against the way they're thinking. Whereas I predict a win for every home game we play. You know, and I won't predict a loss for an away game either. But you know that we'll get something. But
I love Scott M as well. Big up L-Tel. Yes, Scott M is important. We can't all have a big echo chamber in here. I like having Scott's different point of view.
He's entitled to his opinion.
But I'm always gonna try to change his mind and make him happy with Spurs. Like that's something I'll always do that forever.
This here from Scott. This is a very valid comment. However, none of us accept mediocrity. We should have settled for being a mediocre club. 100%. But at the moment, what you don't understand, what you fail to understand is it's not the players that are the problem. It's the fact that the owners are not getting rid of the deadwood. They're not letting the managers that they bring in. They're not backing the managers to hell and high water. They're not giving them the checkbook. They're not letting them offload these players that are no longer of any use to us. We are dealt a shit hand, and we're making the best of a bad situation. What has happened under Postecoglou since he has come in is you've seen these players that have been here, the same players that have been here for 8-9 years. They are putting in a shift because the manager actually puts faith into these players, which is something we haven't seen for years.
He's took the shackles off, and some have improved because of it. Under Conte and Mourinho, it was low block. You know, probably why Højbjerg and Skippy look better in a lot of them games because it was low block game. You know, when you're a bit stretched, a bit more space around you. You've got to be more aware and quicker to spot any danger and threats. So it's different. I don't know. We're going to play as the number 6. Decky will come in as a 10. Well, I think Decky's been given a free role, actually. It is a 10, but it's a free role completely.
Decky is a 10. He's up there. But
he, and he can float around. I mean, they'll let him go where there's space.
Johnson's had stitches, so he'll play. I think he had 16 stitches in that cut. I didn't really see it much of a cut on the TV. It didn't really show that much.
Prime? Is that the energy drink or the?
So it's going to be. Richie's at a bit of form, so it's going to be Richie in the middle. What perfect timing to head that ball in. I mean, that shows he has got football brain in him. Because the time for the leap and to judge the ball coming over, I mean, that is not, that is a sign of he is very good in the air, isn't he? So
always has been. For sure,
So,
and he's
yeah,
a very good
yeah,
player. I think we had let one season or maybe one and a half seasons really taint our view of this man. He can play football.
I think he's got 8 headers and two with his feet.
Yeah. Just quickly, Scott M. The same donkey players are letting us down. What players are you referring to? Honestly, what players are you referring to? What, Ben Davies, the guy that's been undeniably put in a shift at least the last 2 games anyway. What other players are letting us down? Because at the moment, Dyer, he doesn't even play. He doesn't even make the bench sometimes. At the moment, with no Van der Ven, we've got no option to put him on the bench. Who else are you referring to? Dyer. Okay, cool.
Right.
Dyer doesn't play. Davis is playing because we currently have no Van der Ven. Højbjerg he comes off the bench. Skip starts off the bench. Royale starts off the bench. All those players that you're listing all start on the bench. So name one player from the starting 11 that is letting us down. Because that starting 11, believe it or not, they play 65 to 70 minutes per game.
Basuma's had a bit of dip in form. He's flying the first 10 games, wasn't he? But we know that he'll get his mojo back. He's just got to be a bit less reckless in the tackle as well.
Dyer started multiple games for us this year. He started 2, if I can remember. Two from memory that I can remember that he started. Other times he's been exiled. Doesn't even get on the bench.
Too slow moving the ball. He's just too slow, basically, for the system.
I agree. Sorry. It seems like I disappeared, guys. I'm still here. But yeah, I mean, it's tough. And everyone again, everybody, we are totally entitled to our own opinions, all of us. And I do not slate anybody's opinion. I just like to hear them all. And if it leads to a little bit of bickering, no worries. It's all good. I like it. Again, though, we still haven't decided. So for you, Josh, it's going to be Dorrington.
It has to be Dorrington in the middle, and then you start Davies on the left.
Yeah, but with one caveat to that, I agree. But with one caveat to that, because he's fooled us before when we thought players weren't ready to come back. He's fooled us before when he played Brennan Johnson in his first game. If Sessegnon's fit, I would play him at left back. If he's fit enough to play, I would play him.
Right, Dyer has started 1 game and he's played 2.
What do you say about that, though, Josh? Would you play Sessegnon at left back if he's fit?
No, absolutely not.
See, it's difference of opinion. That's all.
He's got paper hamstrings, mate.
They're fixed.
Yeah. Hopefully that's not the issue for VDV whenever he gets back.
No, the technology is good now. Medical science.
We have the technology. We can fix them. No, I agree. Was just wondering what you guys had to say. Yeah. Josh, you watching any of this Manchester United match at all?
No,
not me either.
Still 0-0, in case anybody wanted to know.
Hang on. Look what happened in the cup game. Every single player on the field let us down in that cup game. Every single player. And yet you're gonna rattle on about the same 2 or 3 players every single time. Get out. Stop it.
I think that is one game, Fulham, I blame Ange for. He would have seen the players in his early into his tenure, but I blame him for that. Others will stick up for him. I mean, don't get me wrong, Ange is fantastic. But he got it wrong. How many times have you seen it with England or with any other team, right? Internationals especially, when you play a friendly, they change the team with so many players, whereas like what you should be doing back in the day was when you had a team, you're going to bring a youngster in, you had 10 regular first teamers in that squad that were on the pitch, and then you brought a youngster in and they would carry the youngster through the game if the youngster didn't go and kick on like a Hoddle or a Perriman did anyway, right? But, then you expect, and I see it repeated all the time in Europe, even when Man City have made changes with their big squad, in other competitions. I've seen it in UEFA Cup games and all that because the Premier League's more important. I've seen when why is it whenever these teams that have got so-called big squads, they go in Europe, they make 6 changes and they play crap?
Hang on. This comment makes me laugh. To pretend that these players aren't affecting the outcomes of games is just not being honest. Well, of course they affect the outcomes of games. They're the ones that are playing the games to either win, lose, or draw. So yeah, they are affecting the outcome of the games. But to sit here and go on about the likes of Davis, who again has put in so much the past couple of weeks when he's been called upon, it's what you've got an agenda, Scott. But you cannot accept that Ben Davis has been phenomenal at least the past 2 weeks. You cannot accept it because you've got an anti-Ben Davis agenda. Sit here and deny it all you want, but that's how it comes across to me. And I'm not the only one that would say that, I don't think.
This is why when I get in debates like that, all right, guys entitled to his opinion, argument there. I'm not going to shout and scream my opinion or browbeat anyone. This is why I normally ask them. I had this the other day, and I forget who it was with. I said, okay, then. The guy was being negative all the way through, fair enough, entitled to his opinion. So I said to him, Joshua, this is what you do. So he said, okay, you're a Spurs fan. You must have enjoyed good times. Like, I hadn't said that. So I always say to him, name your best 2 Spurs managers that you've seen, because then you can judge their choices by the players that played under those teams, right? And you can judge them. So I always throw it back at them. Name the best 2 managers, 3 even. You know, I mean, I know I'd pick Joel, Redknapp, Poch, and Nicholson, Birkinshaw without blinking, right? But, you know, I would pick those. But so that's what you do when someone's highly critical. Well, name your best 2 managers, because I want to have an idea of the teams and the players that you must have liked because you've named them 2 managers.
This is the thing about Scott, right? Aside from football, me and Scott get on. I've had multiple conversations with Scott. Really, really nice guy, but we always seem to clash when it comes to football. Always.
A good point from Daniel E is that Dyer did not play.
Yeah, good point.
He started 1 game all season. He started 1 game.
But again, Scott, big love to you, man. Always love having you now. Always love having you here.
I was at that game, and sometimes look. One of the things I've been critical of Romero at times at the back last season was a bit casual, bit slow to move the ball. But he's got vision. He's looking around at his options, obviously. But Dyer, he's like a crab when he's on the ball at the back. I see that game, and he was. Sorry.
Oh, he was mad.
Did you not see it? Did you not see it? Get it off the screen.
That's Bobby Kane having a wind up. Bobby Kane, go back and watch Pornhub, mate. You know what I mean?
Mr. M is here though. Mr. M is here saying big up, and Mr. M also said a lot of stuff. Jeez, I miss a lot of these. He's bigging up everyone. He says Levy out. That was his first comment. Wanted to get that out of here.
Purple and gold until Tottenham is sold.
And yeah, there's tons of people. No love today. Oh, sorry, Mr. M. No, there's plenty of love today. Sorry, I've been running around doing stuff, preparing for work. My camera was off. Sorry about that, but I'm back now.
I'd be happy for Donnelly to start in midfield as well.
Mr. M says that Skip Royal and Dyer can all go.
Come to the club, but I'd be happy for Donnelly to start in midfield.
Like as a 10, you think?
8-10, sort of 8-10. He can assist and score goals. Something we need to discuss as well, because you can do this for another show or something like that, is like the average amount of goals from 1992 when the Premier League was inaugurated that it took to win the league. Because then we've got to overlay that on our players, right? Because we've got to get that. If we're going to win anything, not this season or whatever, unless it's the FA Cup and get into Europe, we've got to see we need players other than Son. I think Son will get 20 goals this season. He'll break the 17 he shared with a Salah.
Can we invite Scott M on? Can we get Scott M on the show right now?
Of course. If you'd like to come on, Scott, more than welcome. He said he doesn't feel well.
It's not hijacking anything. It's a conversation. It's a debate. Some people just get more emotional than others. For me,
he said he doesn't feel well earlier. I forgot.
Yeah, so I don't see positives at all. Just the same old, same old. What this season, apart from that string of 3 games that we lost back to back, what is the same old, same old? And just made mistakes. It's the first time he's managed in the Premier League. He's come to a club like Tottenham, who we can sit here and say we are Big Six, we're not Big Six. It doesn't really matter. We are a club of significant stature in the Premier League. Okay, he's come to the Premier League with a track record of winning, right? He's come to Tottenham and he's been dealt a shit hand. He has got results out of these players. Okay, let's not forget we were top of the league at one point. We went unbeaten for so long, right? We have got a fantastic manager, a fantastic project, because that's what it is. It's a project. Believe it or not, I see Ange being here for at least 3 or 4 years. He's going to be Poch 2.0, right?
I do as well.
Yeah, it's a project. Let's see. That's the positive. The positives are we are seeing signs of change. We are seeing signs that Ange can get the most out of these players. He's getting the most out of Ben Davies, who a lot of people have written off seasons ago. Yeah, Dyer can fuck off, and I think Ange just said that himself. Well, not those physical words.
He came out in the press conference and he said Dyer can fuck off.
Dyer, fuck off, mate. Fucking in and out.
And all I would say, apart from the failures of like Lo Celso and Ndombele, Davison Sanchez, you know, and where jury's out on Richarlison. We have changed things. Paratici did so much for this club. We and especially at lower level as well, academy level. We have brought in. When you look at it, we brought in Vicario, we brought in Udogie, we brought in Van der Ven, we brought in Porro, even Romero come in a couple of seasons, is it? So then you look at him at Bentancur, Basuma, you know, Sarr. You know, we brought in. Well, Decky, and Son's the only real long-term player that we've got from even the Poch area. We have our recruitment under Paratici's recruitment was something like his success rate was considered about 68%. In average across Europe and the league, it's considered to be a reasonable rate if you get it 50% right. Mm-hmm. But Vicario, 15 mil. Udogie, he cost about 15 mil. All right, we pushed the boat out for VDV. I'm glad we did because we was all thinking, oh, that mattered for him. You know, we pushed out Romero, but we knew Romero had the stats before he came here. Porro, I was critical of Porro, but I don't put myself in the mud over his mistakes against Leicester last season and Newcastle, caught on the far post by crosses or not looking over his shoulder and getting done for pace at Burnley and things like that. But my critique was justified because what I said was factual. But now he's got the best stats of a right-sided fullback in the Premier League. So he's turned it around. I'm glad he has. I love to be proved wrong. Love it. I love to be proved wrong.
Me too.
I just love Pedro Porro. I think he's so underrated.
That cross for that
you think he's
Romero
cute?
goal.
Just say it.
I mean, against Newcastle.
I think he's cute.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gay, but
right. I mean, you're not gay, but he is pretty cute.
I'll try anything once.
man's kind of cute. So Pedro Porro, you're right though. He has been one of the players this season. Just one
criminally underrated. We put a lot of praise on Maddison. We put a lot of praise.
Colin, what were the midfielders on the bench for Newcastle? Sorry, for Forest.
I'll have to look.
I know Skip and Højbjerg were on there. Who else?
Let me
was
see.
The
Lineups, substitutes. We had
Lo Celso was out for the Forest game.
We had Højbjerg, Skip, and that really looks like it as far as midfield players.
But Donnelly was on there, yeah.
Yeah, Donnelly was on there.
So there ain't much hope.
I was more under the impression that Donnelly was like a winger or a striker. Am I wrong?
He came from Northern Ireland. He was a striker when he's brought into the club.
We've
got an abundance of strikers at that level, under 21 level. He's been taking a role in midfield as well. He can play in the middle, and he's created from the middle, and he does look a good prospect. But I like Santiago, but you've got Lancashire, right? You've got Parrott, who's banging goals in for Excelsior now on loan in Holland.
Boom, do it.
Scarlett's out on loan, but might be cancelled because he wasn't getting a. So we don't know if Ange is going to have a closer look at these or we're going to sell them or whatever.
Whenever we do, that's great. Pull Chelsea. Let's farm them out. Get them all out there.
Who's banging them in as well.
Banging them in, for sure.
He's banging them in as well.
Yep.
So, like I say, when Donnelly was with you had him, so that Bunder's an attacking talent.
Forgetting Alfie Devine. Alfie Devine's been absolutely on fire. Absolutely.
The two brightest prospects at Spurs look like to be Alfie Devine and Mikey Moore, who's got an injury now, I think, unless he's come through it. Mikey Moore got 17 goals in 14 games and a hat-trick, which included a hat-trick against Croatia. And I think he had 11 assists or something like that amongst them. Nuts. He won 2 cups last year because he played for both the under-17s or the under-18s as well. He played in both them finals. And he was training with the under-21s as a 16-year-old. As a 16-year-old.
I meant
A
Alfie.
bit like when Alfie Devine came on. Was he 15 when he got that FA Cup goal against a Marine up near Everton?
He couldn't have been 15. I think he would have heard more, but let me check.
No,
it out.
He was 15 or 16. He wasn't older than 16.
I think it was 15. Maybe. Did I just say it wasn't that though? Against Marine. Alfie Devine goal Marine. Let's see if I can find his age. 16 years old. 16. Says football.london. So
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
is the worst website.
he's 19
God,
now,
I hate
so
this
he plays
website.
for these.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And like
Veliz look good. The minutes of Veliz's guy in games, I feel like he's looked good. He's looked like he could hold his own. I don't feel like he's
What I think Veliz is going to need in order to get some starting minutes is he's going to need to go out on loan for at least half a season to like a
think
championship.
so. So he gets consistent games. So he gets consistent games and shows that he can do it week in, week out, or what?
Exactly that. If he can consistently do it for 6 months at a championship squad,
he might
and be successful.
He might get a half hour against Burnley in the FA Cup if Son's away, because I'm still not sure on the rule. That's the 5th of January, the FA Cup game on the Friday night, right? Now, the winter break starts on the 14th for us, and the 2 foreign competitions, the Asian Cup and the AFCON, they start on like the 11th or 12th of January and finish in this about the 11th or 12th of February. So we missed those players for 3 games, more if all 3 of them reach their finals. So I think Velez... And I want to see him. I want to see him get 90 minutes. It's just picking the game. Look, you're going to play him. It should be a home game, shouldn't it? Mind you, Ange, I think you'd just throw anyone at the fire. But it should be a home game. You're going to blood these. But he could, if Richarlison's playing and he's going for a patch, it ain't working for him, saying the FA Cup game, I can see Veliz getting a half hour. Ange did say the second half of the season he wouldn't be ready or something. So going to get minutes. He's a unit, you know. He's about 6'2". He's very good in the air, and he's no.
I wouldn't fight him. I wouldn't fight him. That's for sure. I'm not fighting him. Josh might. Josh is a big dude.
And have you noticed?
You know it on YouTube, but Josh.
Have you noticed the players we've brought in, even under Paratici, that most of them, they might be young, but they're units. Decky's a unit. Udoggy's a unit. Van der Ven's a unit, right? Porro's a bit shorter, but he's technically so good as a footballer, right? I mean, all right, your midfielder's not so much important, but you know, they're units.
Yeah, that's true.
Even Solomon's not short when
Brian Hill is breaking that mold, but
Brian Hill is a stick man.
Everybody gets one bad one. Like Adrian was saying, the success rate for who people bring in is not always great. But so Paratici's done wonderfully with so many of his transfers. So I feel like he's due one shit one, and that was Brian Hill. Letting go of fucking Lamella, dude.
Look,
Brian Hill.
You do diligence, right? You get Langer, who's good with the analytics, right? He does that. Then send your scouts to do the eye test. Then you ask around, right? What you should be doing, so you don't get an undone belly. What is player's attitude to training like? Is he dedicated? Does he get on with his fellow players or not? Is he an extrovert, an introvert? You know, what is his weaknesses? Blah blah blah. What's his strengths? And you do the mental test as well on them. You know, you see what they're like, and that way you've got less chance of making the balls up. But we've always gone out on bolt a player and looks and things like that. I mean, like
or like a tournament, you know what they've done.
We've not used analytics before. Now we are. I think we employ the company that does the analytics. Either it's might be through Citigroup or some shit like that. I don't know. But and so now we're using analytics. Then you've got to scout the player because you know. There's a lot of variables with analytics, you know, a lot of variables. So,
yeah, you're 100% right, Josh. Do you think that's going to change?
Improved on the recruitment side and with the team, and I believe these teams' intense negotiations have been going on. And like I said earlier, Josh, in the 2 weeks coming up, unless there's rumours about players we have previously been linked with, if any like new kids on the block get mentioned as a rumour, I'm dismissing them because our recruitment team should have been in overdrive and virtually have these deals done. They should be almost finalised before we get to January. So we go bang, pay the money, exclusive deal.
Well, that's how most teams operate. That's how most of the big teams operate. They're negotiating for winter transfer, for January transfers at the end of the summer window. But that's how that's how we should be operating.
Yeah.
But I just don't see it. Like we last, was it the January before last? We waited until like the 29th to announce Kulusevski and Bentancur, and we were told to lap it up. We were basically told, here's your transfers, lap it up like a dog.
Lately, one of the rumours was Felipe Anderson at Lazio or something. He's 30 years of age. He doesn't fit the Ange mould. Ange does not want old players.
We need players that are not afraid to push forward.
Yeah.
But this
Ange wants players around
attacking-minded football.
Yeah, he wants them around the 24-year-old bracket or younger. So that's why I think Samuel Ing Jr. is a possible. It's the strong links with him. And they've gathered pace, and the links with
it has no smoke without fire.
Magnuson, the centre back. He's only 21. He's only 21.
I'm interested to see what centre backs we're going to bring in. You know, I'm very interested.
We
Real
will
quick, you guys.
bring one in.
Before we keep going, I just want to say to everybody, please go to youtube.com/@ElTelCockerel. That's my co-host Jose, and that is his personal YouTube. We are co-streaming this right now on his channel and my channel. But everybody, get over there, slap him a like and subscribe. That's the link again. I'll be throwing that at you some more. But everybody, come on, let's support Jose. And yeah. Hoiberg to West Ham, says Mile High Hotspur. Oh,
Leo, big up Leo. Big up Leo.
Big up Leo.
Another channel you guys should subscribe to is Mile High.
Yeah, I'll get the link up for that too. Yeah, for sure. We've got a bunch of people in the house. I don't know if we said hey to Who's News yet, but Who's News?
Well, there's a lot of clubs interested in Hoiberg. They'll take him. Man United. You've got the Italian clubs.
Man United. Do you think Man United really want him? Because I'm watching him right now. I say watching, but they're not looking to.
The state of our squad, no midfielders are leaving. Not even Lo Celso. Seriously, they're not, because we just need them. And
if
we
somebody
know
offered you
it's going to be the
money
first
for-
signing. Now, if Hoiberg goes, it'll be in the summer. He won't be allowed to leave.
I would not be opposed to Giovanni Lo Celso getting a starting 11 place in place of Basuma. I would not be opposed to it.
Fine.
Giovanni Lo bench. So.
No, Giovanni Lo Celso, I think he needs starting 11 minutes.
But I'm saying his ass is on the bench right now because
100%. But under Ange, he's been incredible. Absolutely incredible. The 2 games he's played, he's been
stay healthy, dog. That's all
he's been the most creative player on the pitch when we needed him.
If he starts, I think you'll find that Skip and Hoiberg will play with him. Decky will be pushed back out to the right wing, and he'll just keep Johnson on the bench just in case of his stitch wound, his 16 stitches. You can play with stitches.
I actually missed that part of the match. That was the very beginning of the match, or very close to it. What happened to him? Did he take
clash of heads, accidental clash of heads, and he's yeah. So and he's gone down. I didn't see any blood or anything like that, but because he was going off holding his head like that.
On Johnson?
Yeah,
mate, his arm was covered in claret.
Oh, maybe I turned away then.
Yikes. Well, I'm glad he's okay. I'm kind of glad I didn't see it. That stuff's scary to see in real time. So
you might not get a start, but if Johnson doesn't start, we ain't got options.
He'll be wrapped up. He'll look like
I think Decky go back on the right again, as I think he'll be pushed out on the right when all our midfielders are fit. Because if you're going to play Bentancur, Maddison, and either like Basuma or Sarr, then like Decky goes out on the right to counter for the midfield. I still see him playing on the right, but like he can play well on the right. I mean, he's got 12 goals and something like 17 assists or something.
Yeah, something good.
65 games, I think it is. I think it's about 65 games he's played.
Statman Josh is about to pull it up, I think.
What's that again, sorry? What's that, sorry?
Decky, just his goals to games and goals and assists to games. Let me
have a look.
He's got 12 goals and about 17 assists in 5 games. I don't know.
Just want to big up the chat, guys. Big yourselves up too. I mean, some days I won't be here to big you up, so you're gonna have to big yourselves up, guys. Teach a man to fish, like they say. So teaching you guys how to big yourselves up. You are all wonderful people. Thank you so much for joining in, every single one of you guys. If you're watching this on the replay, lovely. If you're watching it live,
news. Morata would be a good signing.
Well, he's got
like the old one.
100 mil release clause in his contract, right? And
so Kulusevski's got an XG of 2.4. He's got an average of 0.3 goals per game. He takes on average 1.9 shots per game. 16% goal conversion. Expected assists. He's expecting 4.1 over the season at the moment.
how many goals has he scored for Spurs? How many games?
How many games has he scored? So he's played a total of he started 17 games. 17 out of 17. He scored 5.
Yeah, I meant
since
since he came to Spurs, his total.
Oh, okay. Let me have a look.
Total appearances, goals, and assists.
Josh, you ever watch the Joe Rogan show?
Who's who?
Yeah.
Good comment
You're
on
like
that.
Jamie right now. You're like Jamie.
My feelings are, one, we won't spend that sort of money, and two, if we were going to go for Morata, you'd get Bremer, and who's cheaper.
You think Bremer would be cheaper? You think Bremer from Juve would be cheaper than Morata, a player from Benfica?
They paid 40 million euros for Bremer, who went there because he wanted Italian citizen. 40 million euros is 34 million pounds. If we went in with 50 mil, I reckon we'd get Bremer for 50
pounds or euros?
Pounds.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, fair. Yeah, you probably would. Okay, fair. But I think they're going to want to make a decent little profit there because
I think Ainge wants someone a bit younger because Bremer would be about 27, 28 or something. And
I don't know anything about Morata at all. Like only
what I've read.
Yeah. David Clark though says, "Hi from Leicester. Grandkids have just left after a sleepover. Pressure off. Pressure off. Talking football is easy. Yes. Hey." Good on you, though, for helping out your kids with the grandkids. I assume that's what's happening there. I assume that's a stressful time. Lots of energy in those kids, but the good thing is you can get them sugared up, and then you can ship them back off. Josh will know. Anyone that's ever watched Josh's kids, you know that they get them sugared up and give them back to you. And I think you're muted if you didn't know. Okay, he knows. He knows. I assume that means that there are children in the background. No. Typing. This is cool. You're watching me interpret Josh's sign language here. But Who's New says, to be fair, the source does some clickbait. But still, sometimes those clickbaity sites and sources can sometimes
Kulusevski since he's joined Spurs, 65 appearances, 12 goals, 17 assists.
Yeah,
fair. I'll take it.
Yeah,
it really is. And remember, I wonder what. And I'm going to look it up. I'll look up this one. I won't make you do it all. But I wonder what Diaz has done for Liverpool in that time.
So that's 29 game changing effects in 65 games. So he's very effective in games in Kula, although some of them will double up, obviously. So his average is good. It's good. I don't doubt it anyway. I think he's going to just get better and better.
Well, I mean, if you look at his record so far, when he first joined us, he had 5 goals, 8 assists, and he was with us from January, the back end of January. And then the following season, he didn't really get much in terms of goals and assists. Got 2 goals, 7 assists. So far this season, he's had 5 goals and 2 assists. So he's already smashed his goals from when he first started.
And also, Josh, to add to your comments, like Kulusevski, after getting him the first season, whenever he's on the ball, you find he's got 2 or 3 players around him more. Whereas, he gave him the slip that first year. Quite a few times he cut in on the close space on the corner of the penalty area.
Where he thought, how is he going to get through there?
Against that, or he'd move through the penalty area and let a shot off, like when he scored against Leeds and it 4-1 away, when it crept inside the post and all that. He'll get more goals. I mean, he's had a couple of shots that have gone close, and we need it because Josh, what's the average amount of goals has it taken to win the Premier League since 1992?
Hang on a minute.
Because
you're Jamie today, Josh.
No, because I want to know where our goals are going to come from. Because our midfielders, Madison will give you goals, but Saab, Basuma, Bentancur.
I'm digging the show tunes. I put in some new tunes for the show, and I'm thinking they're working. So hope you guys are also digging them. Josh is for sure. I can tell. Yeah, guys. So the game is still 0-0. United holding on. It actually hasn't been. I mean, Liverpool have looked kind of impotent.
It's their biggest game of the season, that derby.
Are Liverpool having problems this year with their so maybe they're playing a bit conservatively due to it being such an important match? Liverpool just don't look like themselves. I guess it's been all season. I thought that. Are they having
aren't they? But look at us. We've been going for a big bump. We're 4 points off the top, haven't we? Unless it's changed. Is it changed? Are we only 4 points?
I'll have to check. Let me check the table right now.
Right.
Premier League table. So Tottenham Hotspur sit with 33 points, 39 points at Arsenal. So we are actually 6 off.
Because they won today, didn't they? Played today, yeah.
Arsenal
so we're 6.
Did win. Yeah,
that's catchable.
That's definitely catchable.
It's
not even. It's not. Yeah, it's not even Christmas time. Close, but not
8 big points. We took 3 off of Man United and Liverpool at home. 1 off of Man United, 1 off of Arsenal, 1 off Man City away. Those 8 points. It's that 8 points that's got us Europe this year. There's those 8 points. Because those teams, they've still got to play each other in a round robin. I know we've got to go to Man United and Newcastle and Liverpool, right? And Chelsea.
True.
But there's sort of it. And a lot of them games are later in the season. And also, we'll be flying and rested. And the other thing you can put your money on is the fact people are saying to me, "Oh, we got such a hard run and we got to play Newcastle, West Ham, Liverpool, and all that." Right? Well, they're all hard games. But all I'm saying to that, those teams will be in the later stages of European competitions, and Man City will be playing in Europe. Liverpool will, Arsenal will, probably West Ham will. You know, they're all going to be playing European games before they play us. That's going to be to our advantage.
Very true. Absolutely true. Yeah, Josh. I mean, what do you think about the innocence? What makes me mad is we've won all these points that we wouldn't have won in previous seasons. You know, big games against big teams that might have taken points off of us in previous seasons, and then we go on to lose points or drop points against teams that we should be beating. It makes the recent losses a lot more annoying to me, really, when I think about the fact that we should be. You know, we should be at the top of the table or right thereabouts. Josh, does it make it more frustrating for you, the losses against the quote unquote smaller, easier teams since we've gotten the results?
100%. The point we're dropping points where we shouldn't be dropping points, and I think he's going to over the course of the season, it's going to make more of an impact to us.
Yeah, and it takes away from what we did to earn those points against the teams where we don't always get them. So,
plus we won 2 away games, even though we've got the best away record in the Premier League. Plus we won 2 away games, and each of them games, Basuma got sent off.
Yeah.
So we're showing character.
That's true.
At other times, I thought, but against Forest during the beginning, we started well. Then we became sloppy with our passing, and then we sort of seemed to just our composure went. And it happened a couple of times for us this season. I'm thinking I want to see us get it out of our game.
Yeah, Dan basically echoed my point here. I don't know which one of us put this up first, but he said, but losing 9 points to teams like Wolves, West Ham, and Villa. So all those points that you said we took off the top 6 are canceled out by us dropping silly points. And I mean, I not canceled out. It's still good for us to beat these teams that have to play each other. But I get what Dan is saying, and it is a bother.
Yeah, it's had an effect. Yeah, definitely, it's had an effect. So
for sure. But yeah. So Josh, what are you doing over there, buddy? You're being awful quiet. A and B. He seems like you're being sneaky over there.
Doing maths.
Oh, God. Why would anyone do maths? Yuck. I hated my maths back in the day. I was more of a literature and grammar kind of guy. Who's News is coming at us with yet more transfers.
He's a regular scout, isn't he? So,
he is.
Don't know him.
Leonardo Bellardi from Marseille being scouted by Ajax. Just watched him, and he looks very good. 2-footed, passing's excellent. Looks less risky than Morata, who tends to be dribbling out. Interesting. I'll have to I write these names down during the show. I haven't got a chance to check them out yet, but I have a little list. João Neves, Frederick. Oh man, I'm not even going to pronounce that or even attempt to pronounce that. But Artigues from Benfica. What is it about? I guess it's their model, huh? These clubs in Portugal that snag these players that turn out to be gems. But I guess that's kind of their whole plan, is they're hoping that these players turn out to be gems. Whoa, Eltel Cockrell's here. He should be busy. What is up, Eltel? We're just rocking out. You let us leave, so the kids turn down the kid music. He says, where should we have been without our injuries? That's a very good question. Everybody,
there's a few players on the bench wouldn't be on the bench.
I reckon if we didn't have any injuries, mate, we'd be top of the league right now.
Josh, would you double down on that? You don't think that?
Double down. I'll invest my life savings onto it.
There you go. You got your answer from Josh. Yeah. I mean, if we had Van de Ven, even if we had just Van de Ven, I feel like we would be close to top of the league.
He's back running. He's not training with the full group, but he's back running now.
But Adrian, don't you agree though that like he is so important?
Yeah.
And we got to play so much differently because he was.
Yeah, because we haven't. I don't care what anyone says. We haven't played a higher line really since he's been gone. We didn't play a higher line against Forest. We didn't play a higher line even against Newcastle. Not a really pressurised high line. You know, like under Poch, when you used to virtually see our back four on the halfway line, and maybe one of the fullbacks pushed even further forward. I'm not against it. And Ange, like everyone said, Ange was 4-3-3. I mean, the last couple of games have been like 4-2-3-1 because Decky's coming to play as a number 10. You know, so he does change things. He has played with 2 number 10s, but will you risk it against Everton and leave Sarr as a number 6? Sarr's a unit. I think I talked about Skip coming and he came on and all that.
Sarr is like he's got the energy for days and can run and can put in the tackle, but I'm not sure if he's got it to mix it up with some of these bigger, stronger guys in the midfield. I don't know who I'd put Sarr up against. Josh, do you think that
I don't think Skip's got it, but he can play as a number 6, Skip, but I don't think he's got it.
Don't come to me for the minute. I'm busy.
No.
Okay. I don't know who I'd rather have is Skip or Sarr as my number, my number 6. I don't know. That's hard to say. It's hard for me to choose.
The fact that Ange brought Skip on when Basuma went off, I think I don't know, but I think he sees him as a 6. But,
that's true. That's a good point.
Yeah. He's not sexy, Skippy. He's not a sexy player. He's not an 8. He's not an attacking player. He's definitely not a 10. Right. So I could see him as starting as the 6. Then you've got Sarr will play. Even if he gets the booking, you play him. You play him anyway because the booking don't get him sent off. So you play Sarr for his energy alongside Skip because that would help out. And then I think it'll be Decky. But if he's concerned about the stitches, I think Kula will go out to the right and Lo Celso will play like Josh said. I think but we'll wait and see on that one, won't we? So I think Skip's going to get the nod. And Højbjerg will be on the bench.
Well, and I mean, in this match, it'll be okay too. If it was somebody that were a little more dangerous, than having Skippy there would worry me a little more than it does, But as of now, it's not as scary of a prospect having Skippy in the starting 11. And again, remember how good he was for Norwich? I mean, he can do a job. He can play a role, but it seems like upper championship lower Premier League might be like his actual level, but we've shown, and it's been shown before, that in a good team you can take out 2, sometimes 3 of your starters with
we haven't seen
capable players.
Whether he's got a higher level and all that. And I mean, like, I don't mean a higher level he's going to raise his game and do fantastic things on the ball like Bentancur or Basuma, but if he's really got it to be a proper number 6, because while we've got better midfielders, he's not going to get the game time to show us. And when he's come on a sub, he's been indifferent. He hasn't been bad. I don't think he's been awful, but
right,
not as awful as some Spurs fans would have. And he's homegrown. And if he's happy to stay there, but Højbjerg's not, because he's not. Højbjerg knows he's not getting a lot of game time when everyone's fit. But I don't see. And look, they're not going. Not in January. Not in January. They're not leaving because we just haven't got the depth to cover. And we're not going to rush out and buy midfielders because we know when our midfielders are fit, we're going to struggle to pick 3 out of 4 anyway, and 5 if you include Decky. So, because you're going to have Saar, Basuma, Maddison and Bentancur, 3 of those 4. That's why I think Decky will be back out on the wing again, so as we can accommodate 3 of those 4. So Højbjerg's not going to get that much game time. And I don't think he's going to be satisfied to be subs. Is it the Euros this year? It is, isn't it? Yeah. So this is another thing, right? With the Euros up, he's going to want to be playing football. Yeah. So I see Højbjerg going in the summer. That's why I think he's tried to push for a move in January to get game time before the Euros.
Højbjerg will get picked. I know you want to say he wants to say fit and game fitness and sharpness. I get that, but he'll definitely get picked regardless of whether he plays. He's like the captain, isn't he?
Yeah, and they play him in a bit more of an advanced role for Holland. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Yeah. I've heard. That's what I've been told. I haven't watched him play with Denmark, I'll be honest. But he always gets a good report, doesn't he? So
yeah, it's true. Very true. Guys, Josh is doing math over there, and I hate to say it, but I have to go pretty soon because I have to go to work. But Josh, tell us what you're doing? Tell us what you're planning and scheming over there. What type of math do you have going?
I'll be done in 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds. I'll be done.
You got it. 2 seconds, says the man. He needs 2 seconds. Everybody, we're going to give him more than 2 seconds. But yeah, to answer your question, Jose, because I didn't really answer it. Without our injuries, I think that we would probably be, top 2. I think that City would still be right up there. We might be behind City for one reason or another.
Yeah, I agree with Jose on Bentancur because Bentancur's our fastest midfielder and he really drives us forward.
Oh, I'll get there. Yeah, he says, Bentancur is who we need. He's a monster. He is King Kong, Godzilla, and I don't know who Orisi is.
All right, to answer your question, Adrian, about how many goals on average do you need to score to win the Premier League? On average, it's 82.2 goals to win the Premier League.
See, we have to look. Our coaching staff should have this information. They should look at it and think, well, okay, we're playing great football, but we've got to get, say, 82 goals.
Upon my research, I also found out the first team to ever finish in second and score more goals than the person in first was Tottenham in the season that we...
And we also conceded, this is unheard of because we scored 1 more goal than them and we conceded 1 goal less than them as well.
Wow.
If you score the most goals and concede the least, normally you win the title.
Logically, you would think so. David Clark, though, just says he can see Levy buying a center back and a midfielder, but he doesn't see a striker coming in until the summer. I would agree with that.
I don't see a midfielder because we've got so many, even the good ones.
I hope you're right.
This is the time. Look, fans have been moaning, where's the pathway for the youngsters, right? With a few games this season, we're going to have a good season, right? But, bring one of the youngsters in, right? Bring one of them in. I mean, if it's midfield, if it's necessary.
We'll have to see. That could be a lot of fun. We could watch the beginning of another wonderful Spurs career.
We might get a Samuel Illing Jr. who can play anywhere down the left back as well. To play on the left, he creates assists as well. What I've read, not watched him play, got to be honest. This is what I've read about him, good reports. But then that would tell me that Johnson is really going to have his place over the right, and if we've got another lefty in, and you've got Solomon to come in behind that, and we still don't know what's happening with Sessi, then that would tell me that Decky is going to be the number 10. He will be a number 10 because and it'll work because Maddison will pick up injuries each season. He gets a lot of kicks.
Definitely. Doing all his little tricks and flicks.
And you don't know the situation with suspensions, do you? So it's suspensions and injuries as well. So you've got another number 10 in Decky with Maddison. We've got 8s, haven't we? We're all right for 8s.
Well, yeah, for sure. So one thing though, this comment from Dan E here, I like it. He's saying doesn't buy that the no injuries would mean we'd be top of the league. It was not being clinical that cost them West Ham and Villa games. An example is Harry Kane in the past, I think. So yeah, do you guys think that is fair? I mean, like you, Josh, you're saying we'd be top of the league, but we definitely still would have had that bad back pass from, you know what I mean? He put down here, does having Matters back stop Udogie from that awful back pass? No.
No. McCann always makes valid points, doesn't he? But to me, the players haven't fully taken on Ange ball because we dropped off a little bit in the urgency in our play against Villa. And when at Villa we were good, but against West Ham, no. Right, there was a little. We just didn't have that like extra bit of edge, that cutting edge, that little slickness, that quick speed of thought and movement on the ball. And I think that's what done us. Having said that, we should have still beaten West Ham.
Yeah, agreed. The whole West Ham thing was a nightmare. I hate playing West Ham.
This is what I'm talking about. The drop off at Wolves will be shit. Why? To concede 2 goals in 6 minutes. We had that game won.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we get this. I don't know if it's concentration or something sinks in. I call it a bit of the old Conte effect. You know, too easy to sit back when you got a 1-goal lead. You know, and like Ange won't have that, and I think that's good. I love it.
Jose with the comment that I was hoping he would make. Matters wouldn't have stopped that back pass, but he would have picked the locks, and VDV would have helped with the high line, so results could have been different. So we would have played differently, and so that's one thing to think about. Who's News has come in with a host of. Let me get this music turned down, get the jazz on, so we can get this ending coming. But yeah, we have another good comment. I just saw it. 1 second, I'm in the wrong little spot here. But yeah, Who's News has come in with a bunch of people talking about Argentinian international center backs, defensive prodigies from Boca, Bellardi, however you say that guy's name. Then we've got Valentin Barco, highly sought after guy, another from Boca.
No, those last 2 are.
And then we've got Illing Jr., though. He said he's a battering ram. Very, very direct, running at pace. Reckon he'll win penalties. We could do with one. We haven't had one yet. We're really due for a penalty. So
I haven't been to my news feeds today yet, but there were strong rumours surrounding him. Strong rumours. And Rado Dragusin.
Yeah, that's what you were saying. You were saying
young, and I'm gonna look because, like I say, if some new rumours coming about us being linked with a striker, and I'm just going to ignore them in the next 2 weeks because we should have our list should be nailed down. Conversations should have been taken place, and our recruitment team should be on the ball. And I expect I'll be disappointed if we ain't got 2 new signings in January early. And it wouldn't surprise me if it was Dragusin and Sent because Juventus were only quoting about 20 mil for Junior, so. That remains to be seen.
Yeah, for sure. So you guys, I am gonna end up having to go. But before I do, does anybody have anything they would like to say? Anything they would like to plug? Anything like that?
No, I think I've said too much.
No, you've said plenty. I like it. You can't say too much. You're good, my friend. Josh, what about you, buddy? What do you got in the? What do you got cooking? What do you got in the oven?
I got cooking. Well, apart from making absolutely fantastic intro videos for people.
Yeah, good intro.
Saw us play that today, huh?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I showed it to you last night. You were well pleased with it. So yeah.
It's
Apart from
beautiful-
doing that, I've not really got much going on. Obviously, I'm a full-time member of Talking Ball now, so it's. I'll
Very
be
glad,
here.
very glad to have you. Yeah, get that transfer show you were working on going.
Mhm.
Get that behind the scenes stuff going, because then, yeah, people are expecting it now that it was in the awesome video.
Yeah,
So
I reckon we should use it for the outro, mate. And then
let's
the
do
Matters.
it. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, everybody. Thank you for coming and hanging out during a busy Premier League weekend. Super Sunday, as Sky Sports would have you believe. But it was super sharing our Sunday with you, everybody in the chat. Again, big up to everyone in the chat. We've had some old school members. Wayne Bonner was here. I'm not sure if Chris Peters was here, but big shout out to Chris Peters as well. Great dude. Love him. And then I'm here with these two beautiful guys, Adrian and Josh. But yeah, again, we'll be here tomorrow, guys, 4 p.m. Come join us. We'll be going over the prediction tables, talk about who's in what place, give you the final standings after this final match. But yeah, guys, stay good, be good, don't get in trouble, do good things for other people, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Just